Hey everybody, Doug Rucker here with PressureCleaningschool.com, DougRuckerStore.com. This video I'm going to be talking about how to set up a portable pressure washing unit in order to bypass it. And I got a customer that just purchased one of these. He'll be getting it in a couple days, and so he wanted me to show him how to set this up so it can bypass and hook it to a tank and all that kind of thing. So what you have down here is you've got your unloader up at the top, and at the bottom you've got your water inlet, and you've got a hose that goes from the water inlet to the unloader, and that recirculates the water. So when you don't have it set up for a bypass, what happens is you have to stay on the trigger about every 30 to 45 seconds to release some water. Otherwise, the pump could heat up and cause some damage. So what you want to do down here on the inlet and the unloader is you want to take both of these hoses off, both of these connections, take this hose off. And what you want to do is you'll have a plug, or you need to get a plug like this, which is a 1/4 inch plug. It's got a hex end on it, so you'll have to use a Allen wrench, and then put this plug down into the hole down here where this hose came off of the water inlet. So plug that up, and then up top off the unloader on this side, you want to put a hose barb in like this. This is a 3/8 hose barb. That's the size hose he's going to use for the bypass. So you screw that into there. Make sure you Teflon tape the threads and put it on there and secure it nice and tight, but don't over tighten it, but just get it nice and snug. And then you'll use a 3/8 hose to go from here to your tank. This can be a 90 if you want the hose to come off this way, or you can use a straight like this if you want it to go that way, however you're going to configure that. So once that's done, let's walk over here to my little table. One end of your hose is going to hook up to that barb that you just put onto the machine. And then the other end is going to go to your bulkhead fitting that you're going to install in your tank. And I've got another video, and I'll link it here above. You can see about how to install bulkhead fittings in tanks. So every time now when you let off the trigger, the water is going to bypass and go back to your tank, so it recirculates through the pump. And you don't have to, release the water every 30 to 45 seconds. This allows you to walk away for a minute or two if you got to go to your truck or set your gun down for whatever reason for a few minutes. You don't want to do it a real long time, especially if it's really hot outside. But so that's your bypass. The other thing that he needed was the fittings to set up to feed the machine. So he's going to take this fitting, put it down at the bottom of his bulkhead, not at the bottom of his bulkhead, bottom of his tank, and then put his water hose on here, 3/4 inch size, and that will go to the bottom down here. You want to make sure you cut off the right end of a water hose, or if you're going to use a 25-foot one or whatever. But and so that end, the end of your hose would screw right into that, and that will feed your machine for water off of the tank. The last thing he needs is a bulkhead fitting with the float valve, which this will go to either directly the water source. Hook your water hose here, and it'll go either directly to your water source, or it can go to the hose reel that you've got your water hose on if you're going to supply through a hose reel. And then when you fill the tank up, this float valve will shut off once the water gets full, or it should. Sometimes these things just all of a sudden stop working, so you have to keep an eye on it. If it starts overflowing, you may have got some grit or junk or something in there. May have to take it apart. But We don't really warranty these things. It's a great thing to have when they work, but sometimes they just all of a sudden stop working, and you may either have to replace it or just clean it out real good and try it again. So that's how you set up a portable machine for bypassing to a tank and feeding off of a tank. Make sure you have hole saws like this to drill your holes for your bulkhead fittings. Make sure you use the right size depending on the size of the bulkhead fitting that you're using, and you'll be good to go. So if you have any questions about this, just let me know. Be glad to help you, walk you through it. And y'all have an awesome day. Don't forget to check out my online video school at pressurecleaningschool.com. Over 235 videos right now that will help you immensely cut your learning curve if you're starting a pressure washing business. And if you have any questions, you can always just leave a comment here or a question, or you can email me at pressurecleaningschool@gmail.com.